Boom.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, a little slow.
Boom.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night with Michael Larson and Jimmy Pittman.
Should we dim the lights? Taco
Somebody
Bell.
commented earlier, like, 7 o'clock, that's not late night. I'm like, well, you know.
Depends where you're at, man. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe we could do something different than late night. Maybe late night's good. Should we like pre-record it and post it at midnight? Nobody'd watch it, but
Exactly.
yeah. Cool.
Well,
What's up, Jimmy? What do you got going on?
Not much. Just enjoying this lovely cold weather we're having. I'm so ready for summer.
I sent it your way.
Done with this. You can have it all back. No, thank you.
I have no interest in this stuff whatsoever. I'm ready to get back to base season. We missed it last year. I was telling somebody, Gary Davis, we were talking about USAC finals coming up next month, and I was like, part of me wants to go, and part of me wants to just pretend last year just didn't happen, and like this is 2020. Not really, just kind of,
I was talking to the guys yesterday about the same thing. I was like, I didn't even compete in USAC this year, so I have no points at all. So yes, I know I can pay and go, but I really can't say I'm that interested this year.
Yeah.
I might just wait and just like you said, just kind of skip the whole thing and just do it next year.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, they're still going to have finals in like September. So, finals twice in a year, cool. If that is the case and they do have it in September, then, I mean, why not just wait 7 months now? So, what's up, Dan?
Mr. Dan Current.
Mr. Dan. So I hear you've been working on some stuff behind the scene for finals. You've been buying some stuff. Is that public knowledge yet, or are you going to keep that stuff on the down low?
Me?
Yeah.
Buying what? Oh shit, Adam Dykes. Look at that, Mr. Loudman himself.
All right. You've been working on some PA stuff and some other accessories, right?
Yeah, Shitting on them actually helped me and donated a lot of money to help me buy a new PA system. So that's greatly appreciated. Yeah. Love Hammy, love Steve. Shitting on them. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, awesome. Bobby. Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing?
I want to see the chat.
You got to hit comments.
Yeah, but then I can't see the...
You're doing it off your phone instead of the laptop?
Yeah. I screwed up. I like how Jason's like, this place just went to crap. Dan is here. I feel that way sometimes. We had another local Minnesota audio page as though like the 20 that currently exist aren't enough. I'm sure it's that same way in every state, but everybody's always creating a new one and they invite me to it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Why not? Super active. People are posting stuff, helping people out. It's not toxic yet. Give it a couple days. And all of a sudden I get invited into this group, and I'm not going to say his name because he's a big guy in the audio world, but he's not from Minnesota, but somebody invited him to the page, and he's been posting and talking to people. And I'm like, well, all right. It's been real, guys. I'm out. And I remove myself from the group, remove myself from the chat. Somebody's like, really, Mike? Like, Why? And I told him, like, straight up, like, I can't stand this guy. A lot of people can't, but I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings here that's friends with him. I know he doesn't watch the any of the videos posted on this page, but whatever. Just don't want to cause any trouble.
Understandable. Sometimes it's easier just to avoid it.
Yep. Just another page, more drama. But yeah, Dan's here. Party's over, man. Dan will be pulling people out of their chat soon, beating them in the living room. But
Not today, Dan. Not today.
Not today. You went to Taco Bell though? Man, that was a risky endeavor before doing a live stream.
I had to do something, man. Mama was like, I gotta feed you first.
I actually considered going there earlier today, so maybe I will when we're done. That's like the only place around here that's actually open at night. Everything's closed. Like we used to have all these places that were open late or like drive-through places that were open 24 hours, and now nobody is open past like 8 or 9 o'clock anymore. I'm like, where the hell does somebody get food? McDonald's. Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't done that 12 times in the last week. Not literally, but you know what I mean. You just get burnt out on some
Hello,
places.
Brandon. Hello, Kyle. Hello. Hey, everybody.
So when is finals?
Finals is April 24th on Saturday.
Okay. And then you're talking about potentially doing a show on the following day as well?
I'm doing the show April 24th, which starts the new season.
Okay, cool. Probably get some points out of that if I'm going to be out that way.
Well, I figured that way for the people that are driving a little bit out of the way, like Nebraska, Iowa, or wherever, people are coming from. That way, if they have to make that trip, I could kind of make it worth their while and do a 2-day show. But Base Wars don't really officially do a 2-day show, so that was my way of kind of making it so everybody, it would be worth people's while.
Got to find a way to make it a 2-day show for next year.
Well, like what I do at 712 Boom when I'm out there, I drag it on and just let them. They can run Saturday, and if they want to, they can come back and run Sunday again too. And the people that don't actually are not able to go Saturday can come and run Sunday.
So,
and believe it or not, I actually have regulars.
How is the venue for your location in terms of loud noises? Is it going to be good to be obnoxiously loud there, or are we going to have to be pretty good throughout the day?
It's the casino. They know what we're doing, and they know it's going to be a loud audio competition. And where it's at, it's not around anything else, so we have nothing to worry about.
So we could potentially do like what happens at 712, this Icky Boom stuff. I guess you could call it Icky Boom because it was last year.
It is, anyway. Yeah. I believe it's going to be back at Icky Boom again this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot. But we could do what happens there, and we could line all the cars up and have everybody play some stuff. I feel like that'd be cool, a cool finals, thing. Get everyone to circle their cars around. I'm sure a lot of people are like, "What the hell's going on?"
Do a big circle.
Yeah, have everybody play the same stuff or play the same frequency, and we'll just see what it does. See how many miles away they can hear us.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun for sure.
Why not? Do it at the end though, just to save from getting anything shut down. Oh no, officer, we're just doing awards now. You heard us from how far away? Oh, cool.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Would you be willing to put that in writing on our Facebook page?
Yeah. Tell me, cool. Michael Larson, we have a Honda that needs some 18s put in it.
18's fit. You just have to do a little bit of cutting on the baskets. By a little bit, I mean almost
Quite
all
bit.
of the basket. Yeah. You leave like a 1/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom to make an 18 fit, because I want to say it's like 17 and change height in a Civic. So not a lot of room for activities if you want to put an 18 in there, but they will fit. People might see soon that they fit in ours. Maybe not.
Spotify. Oh, shit.
Oh, that's cool. Yep.
We might have to try that out, Dan, for
Maybe
sure.
we get
Everybody
Guinness
the
out there
same
and
song on there. That would be badass.
we'll invite Guinness out to set, a record, and we'll have, the most vehicles playing the same song at the same time. We'll start small, and then we'll just have to, we have to increase attendance every year to keep it, because somebody's going to go link up 400 cars somewhere, and
We could, that could be something we could possibly.
yeah,
Let's try it out this year and see how loud we actually get, and maybe if we do good enough, maybe we can reach out to them and see.
we could
I don't
use an
know if-
FM transmitter too, and I know not all the cars have antennas, but people that have time ahead of time to get one plugged into their deck, and we could just do our own little radio station, broadcast whatever we want. We'll just have everyone get on the same frequency. It's legal if it's a certain radius of signal. If it's too big, you get into issues with FCC. But we could do that too. Cool.
Heck yeah.
So
That'd be cool.
yeah, I think that'd be pretty badass to have a bunch of cars playing the same song or the same whatever at the same time.
It really would. Oh hell, we were up to 30 viewers there for a minute. Shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, take your shirt off. Do something cool. I'll buff my head, make it shiny or something. Oh, screenshot. Click it. So let's see here. Finals. Then that makes it. How far away are we?
Month and a half.
Month and a half. I might need to get my car ready.
You might want to start putting subwoofers in it finally. Yeah.
I will say I did talk to Travis Young today about getting some equipment on order, and we will be putting some new batteries in. So shout out to JY because, man, I've known Travis for years. He's an awesome guy, and he takes care of his customers. So maybe we can get some in your car, Jimmy.
Well, I've talked to Travis, and it's kind of in the works, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to sell my batteries now, so if I can get mine sold, I possibly might be going that route.
Yeah, that was what I did too. And people were like, I just posted a C-Max and I dumped the price on it until it sold. People are like, well, why did you sell it that cheap? Was there something wrong with it? And I'm like, no, I got to pay my JY bill. Like, I'm trying to sell it for a reasonable price, but at the same point, I know as well as, most people that if you want to sell audio quick, you need to hurt when they pick it up and give you the money. Like, man, it was
I got
so much more.
Almost 300 amp hours of C-Max I'm trying to sell.
Yeah. You know what, though? I mean, there are plenty of guys. Actually, I will message you when we're done. I know a guy that's looking for a bunch of C-Max right now, so that might work out good. See, I don't want to run high voltage stuff. And, I like how cheap C-Max is, and even Yinlo, but, I want to stay lower voltage because I want to stay on the factory charging and just have the one alternator in the Civic, and I want it to be drivable. And these cars are finicky to run higher voltage with the factory computer setup. So I'm just nervous. I don't want to lose drivability by doing that. So
makes sense. Well, and I can understand that because it definitely is running two alternators for sure.
Yeah, the car only has 80 horsepower to start. So unless I put it on a trailer and put, another alternator under the hood, drivability is out the window. I mean, it's already bad trying to churn a 300 amp alternator. It doesn't want to do it. So hopefully I can keep everything happy. I got the little adjustable voltage knob from Travis Stukel, and I'm going to wire that guy up in there and dial it to where I need to go for shows, and then keep it at a nice, comfortable level for driving home.
Sorry. I'm going to be doing some shows in Missouri for sure. I'll be doing probably 2 or 3 shows down there with Ben Furlow. So we're definitely going to have some shows down and around that way for sure.
I was fingered a Smurf before we got on here today, so I'm a little blue. I feel a little blue.
Yeah, you definitely.
We need some shows in Minnesota, Jimmy. Can you hook that up? Can you can you do a show up here for me?
Can you make it worth my while? I need somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couch right here in the shop. It's a famous couch. Not as famous as the previous couch, but it is famous.
I was
And
gonna say I don't want to sleep on the last couch. You and Chris broke that bitch down.
that couch was absolutely destroyed. So we replaced that couch. And this couch has seen a lot less bad days. But yeah, man, I'm just like, I want to have a show, and I'm down to have one up here. I think it'd be good. See, more than anything up here, it's like a science experiment. I want to see how the local audio guys like
I've had
how
a
they
couple of
react to
guys
Base
from your
Wars.
area actually hit me up and say that they heard that you've been talking about maybe having a show up there, and they were interested. So, I mean, I think there's some people up there that are definitely interested in shows as well.
Oh, 100%. It's a matter of like, it's hard for me to gauge, is it worth having Jimmy drive up here? Because you're like 6.5 hours maybe from where I'm at. Is it worth having you come up here?
Shit. Trust me. I mean, anymore, that ain't shit.
But I want you to make money, worst case scenario. I mean, like, the thing for me, though, is like, we have base meets up here that pull 15, 20 cars. So why can't we have shows with that much, you know? Like, everybody that goes to the base meet, come to Base Wars. Check it out, you know? I want to see how they react to it, because it's like Midwest has been just like declining in interest up here. And like the people in this area are just going different directions with their builds. And so it's like, okay, well, how do you feel about not having a rule book? Will you compete then, or are you just anti-competing? You're like, hey, hell no, I don't want that. Get out. You know.
No, I think some of them would. Oh, Andy's in here. Mr. Kicker himself. What's up?
What's up? Mr. Brewer, Antonio. Seeing a lot of names. I don't ever get to see you guys. Yeah, invite your friends, you know, just for the hell of it. It's like the show about nothing, right?
Yeah, you know.
I asked Jimmy, I said, so we're going live tonight? He's like, yeah, we'll go live tonight. Okay, cool. Got anything you want to talk about? And he's like, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we didn't figure it out. I didn't either.
Hopefully we'll start inviting people and have some guests on and actually have some stuff for you, but it was just kind of a let's try it and see what's going on.
Yeah, just see how people are interested. I mean, like, Chris, Russ, and I used to sit here on the couch and vape in front of the camera every Wednesday night. We would poll viewers, and we wouldn't do anything. And I've always wondered since then, like, what if you actually talked about something, you know? Like, we just sit here and vape and throw out, like, random audio ideas every now and then. People would be like, that's cool. When are you guys going live next week? Cool. So what if there's actually a direction to, to a show that's actually dedicated to, like, you know, the competition side of car audio? I think that'd be cool. It doesn't currently really exist. I mean, Everyday Audios guys, they just kind of cover everything. And I think it'd be cool to be, you know, more on the competition spectrum. Things obviously relation to Base Wars, because it's the Base Wars page. But, you know, get a good direction going with it. We'll talk about Jimmy's SPL upgrades in his car that he doesn't know that he's doing yet. Drop that thing off up here and we'll put more speakers in it. No, I'm good. I can see the comments. I can see everything.
Oh, I thought you couldn't see them.
No, I can see them. Reunion of you and Larson. Hell no, Dominic. God, we didn't do shit. We sat here on our butts and did nothing. You know how many people ask me, though? They're like, what happened to Two Fat Kids Vaping, or whatever you guys called your show?
I used to faithfully watch every Wednesday, dude. I would be sitting up there at night with my headphones on. My wife would be in bed, and I'd just be sitting there watching you guys like, okay, what are they going to talk about tonight? And I would just watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And half the time, you guys would just be talking about silly stuff, and I'd still watch.
Yep. People just got so, like, dedicated to what we were doing the next week, you know, in our lives, that they were like, okay, well, I'm going to watch next week to find out what happens. Hey guys, field trip. We're going to White Castle. I love White Castle. All right, we're going to White Castle. Let's go through the drive-through. And like, I'm like, we're gonna lose viewers. No doubt, we're gonna lose viewers, and we didn't.
No.
Yeah,
Hell,
it's
I
crazy.
remember one episode you did nothing but basically talk about how your toilet got broke. The whole entire episode.
That actually showed up in my memories not that long ago, and yeah. Long story short, I was given a demo in my shop. It's about 70 feet deep by like 30, 35 wide. And I was demoing in the physical middle of the shop, and I shut it off, and Russ is just sitting there crying, laughing. He's like, ah, you broke the toilet. I'm like, what? You broke the toilet? Talk about secret build. I'm not talking about the secret build. It's a secret build. In fact, Jimmy just asked me, he's like, hey, maybe we can go in your shop tonight and you can show me some things. And I was like, there's some things in the shop tonight that I can't let people see yet. So maybe next time, and I will remove said items from the shop and make it look more normal. Top secret stuff. But yeah, but no, yeah, I'm given a demo, and the toilet, the lid on the back of the toilet vibrated off and smashed on the tile floor and blew up everywhere. And it was not the most expensive demo that I ever gave, but it was definitely the most disappointing demo. I was like, oh, I broke my shop this time. Hi, Base Horse. Talk about our secret build. I'll talk about our public build, kind of. So we're doing a big build, and we're not going to talk about Jimmy's secret build, not just yet. But we're doing a build with 16 NSV4 12s on 8 Sundown SFB 8Ks. It's going to be pretty decent. I'm not going to give too much details about the build, but I will personally not be satisfied until it's doing a 170 on music. And I think it's going to be pretty achievable the way that we're building it and the way that we're setting the cabin up, that we'll be able to get up around that range. So it'll be pretty nice.
I'm going to be honest with you, if it's not doing a 70, I'm probably going to laugh at you.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. And it's the way that the subs and everything are going to be set up are going to be ideal for the meter. It's just going to be loud, man. That's really what it is. I'm really burnt out personally on the car audio scene, like in total. And I miss how things used to be when we just go to shows or go to parking lots or just meet up with friends and demo stuff. And I want to get back to demoing stuff, and I want to go to big shows that I have nothing to do with any of the organizations there. Like I want to go to the Sundown show. I want to go to TDH. Go back out to CES. You know, we were talking about going up to Surf City and all that. And I just want to go to these big shows that are forever away. And I just want to open up the doors, turn the system on, and play it. Like as loud as I can comfortably play it without turning it off. And I just want people to get in all day and give them demos. Like that's just the point that I'm at in life. I have so much fun building and testing for SPL, but I am so burnt out on the audio world after the last 10 years of being like focused in it that I just want to have fun. Straight up.
I'm kind of at that point now. That's why, you know, I've discussed and told you I'm getting ready to rip the Nitro apart. I think next weekend I'm actually going to go out there and take some sawzalls to it. Start cutting it all out.
The list of people that do 160 at 20 is smaller than the list that do 170. Changed my mind. 100% it's smaller. But I mean, 20 hertz is 20 hertz. You got to decide at what point you're not considering it bass and you're just considering it a really windy build. I have nothing but respect for those guys that do that, but I don't want to lose any of my high-end output by opening up the low end. So if I can make it musical across its entire playable spectrum and do crazy numbers at 20 hertz, I think the way that we're building everything, we will be able to send it at 20 hertz without risking breaking equipment. But who knows? You know, it's hard on your equipment to do that. So that's it's kind of nutty. Yeah, it's windy. Absolutely, it's windy. Like that 160 at 20 hertz will undress you while you sit in the seat.
Well, mine's
That's
windy.
wild.
Mine's windy right now with the door open, but I'm bored with it because I've had the same build for almost 3 years.
Hey, our
You know,
trunk car hair tricks right now with the windows up.
I seen it.
CRX did that too.
Yeah. I remember your mom running it in the lanes and giving herself a hair trick while she's running in the lanes.
Yep. Yeah, and people were absolutely baffled by that. They're like, "Are you doing a hair trick with the windows up?" I'm like, "It's loud, bro." At like 60 hertz too, mind you. Like, we don't play low frequencies in that. We can't play low frequencies in that car. It self-destructs at high frequencies. Yeah, I think 3-to-1 ratio in a fourth order is still. It's going to give you. It's going to be a little peakier. The higher the ratio gets, generally speaking, the more focused your peak frequency, like that range, is going to be. But you can potentially lose your bandwidth depending on, the install. I think 3-to-1 is still pretty stout. 2-to-1 to 3-to-1, like in that range, I think is where a lot of the musical fourth order builds are right now. 20 to 50.
I can play 19 to 70 all day long with my flat wall right now. No problem. And I've proven it over and over and over again. And it's a musical build, but I'm just bored with it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and you always want more, right? I think that's every audio guy. Like, you have something for so long, you want to excite yourself with it as much as you excite other people. So you got to get that spark back into it. You got to be just as happy with your car as other people are. And then it's more fun to show it off too. It's like, all right, get in, give you a demo. Come on. And you hit that frequency where they look over at you.
I think I've actually reached the peak of the vehicle too. I don't think I can, with the current build and currently the way it's set up, I don't think I can get it any louder.
Jimmy, I want to do a fourth order in your car. Let's go.
I'm down.
Let's go.
163.7 was the loudest I have got it. And I don't know. I still hold the title of the world's loudest nitro. What?
Is that a Base Wars score or what? When did you do that score? I'm kind of out of the loop up here. I don't see a whole lot going on.
I did that score at USAC.
Okay.
So it was an actual legit score, and it's probably still up on the website. I'm sure you can go look it up. 2018. I took second place at World Finals. What?
Did you lose to like Hank?
Beach. He was like 6 dB louder than me, and he lost like 2 subs, 2 amplifiers, and was still louder than me. But
didn't he blow out his back window at USAC finals?
No, not until after he was done running.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that he blew out the back window. I was like, well, you can have doors and windows open, but I don't think that's going to help you. Oh, man. We're going to see a lot more builds like that S10 I think just even in this season, but I think in general coming, like moving forward, we're going to see more live on YouTube. All right. We're going to see more builds that are like that with the no-wall style setup in S10s with the batteries and the amps in the back. Sean Mayo's working on one right now, big build with some excess power goodies, some Sound Digital, and some Sunnow compact Neos. So he's going to do a really big score. He was talking about going to Midwest with that too. I was like, well, you're not going to be in my class. I feel sorry for everyone. Jimmy, he'd be going in your class. But where is World Finals at?
It depends. Finals depends on what area. In my area, it's going to be up here at the Argosy Casino in North Kansas City. In Billy's area, Lucedale, Mississippi, I believe.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Billy's. I got to drive a little longer, but he's nicer to me than you are.
Whatever.
Actually, I do want to make it a point to go to one of Billy's shows this year, and just not tell him that I'm going. Just show up.
Me too. I think I kind of want to make it a point that Billy has to come down here and run one of my shows this year, so I can to Scraping the Coast.
Oh,
I think Denny Eddy has booked the T-Bones the same weekend as Scraping the Coast again, Billy. Just shout out, FYI.
mm. Help me out a little bit, please. I can't see him giving up Scraping the Coast though.
He doesn't go to Scraping the Coast. He came down here last year and ran my show at the T-Bone Stadium while I was at Scraping the Coast last year.
I thought he went to spectate. I thought he was talking about going out there to spectate. Maybe somebody. Oh, maybe it was. That was Dan that was talking about that.
Well, we would like to get Base Wars out there, but that just is never going to happen. So that's a whole nother story. But
I want
it
to
is
see
what it
Base
is.
Wars at Slamology. So
You know,
the powers that be.
I spoke out with Denise, and I thought it was going to maybe happen, but I think because of what happened with COVID and everything, it just didn't happen this year. So hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, we'll be there next year.
I think we got to convince them. I remember seeing in my news feed from a couple weeks back, not even maybe like a week ago. It was from a couple years ago when USAC was not going to go to Slamology, and everybody made a big deal, and they made this announcement, and I shared it. They were like, "Yeah, we will be at Slamology." I think we just got to peer pressure Base Wars way into Slamology. There's plenty of room out there in the competition lanes to set up another organization, especially one that's not going to be doing head-to-head eliminations. So, I mean, they can go run through the lanes when they got free time, and then they can go hit the brackets and, DB Drag or whatever it may be. But I think it'd be cool to be out there. Actually, Slamology, that's what we got to do. We got to get Base Wars to officiate the idea with all the cars at Slamology in the parking lot. It's already the biggest car audio show. Why don't we just make it happen, organize everything on the back end to that being a world record, event. Everyone out there with their cars. We'll even get the damn stunt walls and all the massive Brazilian guys to play the same thing at the same time. And that'd be absolutely crazy. I think that'd be really cool.
It really would be. It'd be fun as hell. You imagine how loud it would be with all them stunt walls and everybody just firing in at the same exact time and possibly the same exact song. Oh my God.
I've never heard Baby Shark so loud in my whole life.
Right?
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to do something like that. But I mean, I think just Base Wars in general, I think that getting to Slam would be a pretty good move from the marketing side of things, because there's a lot of people out there from different areas that I think would appreciate it. And I think it'd be a good place to get their feet wet in it, increase the likelihood of you guys booking shows, outside of there.
I really would love to, to actually get out there. So hopefully I'm just going to try to talk to the people that needs to be, and hopefully it'll happen this year.
Twisted Mayhem. Yeah. Get rid of Mecca, run Base Wars in its spot. Oh man, that's the best thing I've heard from Steve Herman all week. I was kind of ignoring that comment for a minute. I have nothing against Mecca. I've never actually ran their organization, but I'm okay to do it. You know what? I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to text them when we get done here. I'll wake his old ass up and tell him we got to make it happen. I think that'd be really cool to see that. I really do think that'd be cool to see. We were talking about trying to get Matt. I'm not old enough for that. I knew car audio. Yeah. I knew the car audio scene, but I didn't know the large scale car audio scene. I only knew I was on a forum and I dug through it one day while I was at work not doing my job, which I did frequently. Like, car audio classifieds for the longest time they had some like generic like restrictions on the computers, and I decided that I wasn't going to risk getting fired by fully bypassing them. So I just like searched around for things that would let me on, and it let me on Keiko. So I was on Car Audio Classifieds, like reading up on all this stuff. That whole Ask T-Fade question forum, like I asked him probably like 80 questions on there that he had already answered just to see if he would catch on and be like, "What the fuck?" You know? And I'd go on people's build logs. I'd troll Jacob Morris, like, "You ever gonna got 160s, bro?" and stuff like that. And I mean, I made a lot of friendships because of that stuff. Not trolling, but just meeting people on there. But man, I did not work at this job. I just sat there all day on Keiko, reading stuff, going through things, like seeing the old, you know, the times before social media, car audio events, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I totally felt like when Everyday Audio guys were talking about like all these different image hosting servers going down or restricting, you know, PhotoBucket, Image Shack, all that stuff, restricting pictures, because I go on forums and I'm like, damn, that would have been cool to see. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's insane. That's crazy. I love that." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't load it. There's a little X."
Just to make him whisper.
Dunk before dunk. I like that, Matt. Let's go. 10% distortion. I remember when Down for Sound was a forum. I remember when Jonathan Price was just a YouTuber. That's how long I've been following him. Now, mind you, I don't watch any of his videos anymore. I don't watch a lot of people that I subscribe that have gone different directions. I think like Steve Mead's probably one of the only guys, maybe like the Soundman guy, Doug, but most of the channels that I subscribed to when they were producing content that interests me, I just fell off and I was like, yeah, I don't care about you guys anymore. You're not doing builds or going to shows and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not the same for me. Even EXO, he's not doing like as much as he used to. And I understand now he's got more commitments in life. I'm hoping that when he moves out to Tennessee, that he's going to Tennessee. I think that's where he's going. That he's going to be able to get a little bit more active in the audio scene. But I miss channels that just built stuff and did stuff every day. Well, not every day, but you know what I mean. And like vlogged it and posted it up. I thought that was the coolest stuff ever.
I used to like watching his, and I watched it all the time. But it kind of got boring because, you know, like you said, he quit doing the stuff. I used to love watching it every day, him working on something different or doing this, and I don't know how many times I've watched his videos and like, man, I'm gonna buy him a real drill and send it to him so he'll throw that old cord piece of shit away. And anybody that has followed him knows what I'm talking about. He's had that same old corded fucking drill that he uses for everything. I'm like, dude, for real, somebody please sponsor him. Give him a new damn drill.
He's got some like iconic things. That and the steak knife for opening packages. And
yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Building a sub box with like a Sawzall in some dude's basement, like a battery powered one, like wasn't even a jigsaw. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of that stuff was really cool. But I mean, I've been subscribed to him since he had a couple 12s in the back of his stuff. Yeah, I don't usually go without the hat because it's really shiny, man. You get a lot of reflections. When I trim it shorter, it's not so bad. It's bad now. I gotta like I layer it, and I can't see because I'm reversed, but I gotta like fade it out into the baldness, so it is so apparent. You look at me from the side, you might not know. You look at me from front, I'm bald. Catch me from the wrong angle, I'm just a dude that has no hair. But yeah, I don't know where my hat is. I got a Schnottum hat, and it's chilling somewhere in the shop. It has left me. I was practicing, by the way. I just saw this over here. I might go grab it. I've been practicing Jonathan Price's signature. I'm going to be offering knockoff Jonathan Price signatures for $5 shipped. I'll sign anything, or I'll just sign it on a piece of paper for $5.
And I can legally get away with it because that's my name, and
Jimmy
that's
Pittman.
You know how many times I've gave
Yeah.
that man shit about that and told him that was my name first and I'm better looking.
Yeah. So I'm seeing Colby's like the air will flow over your head better, 0.1 dB gain. Yes. In fact, I will agree with you on that. Not necessarily 0.1, but 0.01 maybe. I also have bulked up over the years of running car audio because the more buffets I eat at, the more I gain. I don't even need to work on the car. Now, I not legitimately, but being a bigger guy, I'm like, man, like I was just talking about today. I'm like, I am going to lose a bunch of weight this year, just like for me, you know, and mostly because all of my clothes this size don't, you know, they're all beat to hell, and I got a lot of nice clothes that don't fit me, so I got to shrink down a size. That way I don't have to buy new clothes. I'm being cheap. I got all the OG audio shirts that don't fit, right? Ceramic. It does repel water right into my eyeballs. But yeah, I've gotten bigger. I'm like, you're louder when you're bigger. Like I have my mom in the Civic testing it, and she's like, why are you like 4/10 louder? I'm like, because I'm 4/10 bigger.
Taking more
And in that
airspace.
car, it's really the width is most of it. But yeah, you take up airspace. But you're like a loading wall when you sit in a small car. Like there was a bunch of controversy with the sound check guys, and I don't remember his name. Bud. I don't remember his last name. Ballinger. Sitting inside of their Panda and burping it. They're like, he was leaning into the passenger side, and it's like, if anybody that's been in a Panda, they are like physically 4 feet wide inside, maybe. Like if you could fit a piece of MDF sideways in there, a piece, not a whole sheet, a piece sideways from door to door, you'd be lucky. Like if you're sitting in that car, your shoulder is touching the person next to you while you're driving. It's designed for like
Thanks, Dave.
and
There you go.
yeah, my screen dropped out. But yeah, so when you sit, even you know, in the Civics, the same thing too. It's a lot smaller than people think it is inside. I couldn't sit in there with another guy my size. We would be like shoulder to shoulder sitting in that car, driving it because it's that small. You put a small guy in there, you've got a physical loading wall taking up half of the vehicle, redirecting that sound wave right there.
Most definitely.
Get ripped, man. Yeah, see, that's the thing is I have a good build for, and I used to actually be pretty big. I agree, Matt. There's a point where you can't get close enough to the wheel where it's really that beneficial for you anymore. But yeah, you know, the size definitely helps, and that's why some people were saying too. They were like, "Hey, maybe we just shouldn't run the vehicles with people in them." And like TB drag competitors are like, "Yeah, I'm totally fine with not having anyone in the car because then there isn't that advantage anymore." And I'm like, no. I hope this isn't an all organizations thing. I'll wear earmuffs if I have to, if you want to call it a safety concern. But I'm gonna keep my fat ass in the car because I'm a lot louder with me in it than out. I don't know at what level I would get out of a build. Jimmy, at what DB level would you get out of a vehicle that you would no longer want to run it in the lanes because it's that loud?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Because I know there's levels that will physically cause damage to you, but do you have to get to that level to be like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore?
I think you would probably have to get to the level where it would tap me out.
Yep.
Where I didn't physically want to sit in it no more.
I'll tell you, when I was at... Go ahead.
I was going to say, and so far, really, the only person that has really made me feel like that would have been, you know, Jordan Acostas and Joe Price in the van.
Yeah, that thing's nutty.
You know, I can say that, you know, the kicker van was pretty close.
Yeah.
But I think he was still kind of holding it back a little bit because there was other people in there. But I was taunting him and telling him it wasn't loud. He didn't make me tap. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I decided that I know for sure I wouldn't be anywhere near a vehicle at 170 dB.
I sent the Russian wind machine at Scraping the Coast last year.
I should
Or the
clarify
year
too.
before.
170 sealed literally scared me the first time I saw it in person. Like the vehicle, the panels on the vehicle weren't flexing; they were bulging a lot. It was I was down at Dan Horner's shop when he cracked off one of his first 170s in Terra, and the noise that this thing made on the outside in the glass, like we're not talking glass vibrating because the windows are taped in. The glass is bulging out like somebody's blowing a bubble with the glass, and then it goes back. And you're just like, at what point does something fly off of that thing at an incredibly high speed and smack me in the face? But I know just being outside of that car, there's absolutely no way in hell, no amount of money somebody could pay me to sit in it at that level, and that could kill you at that pressure level. Who knows, you know? But that thing at that level, I was like, I don't know. But I've been thinking too, this build that we're, putting together, I'm like, is this something that I would want to demo from inside the vehicle, or do I want to chill outside of it, just for the sake of not giving myself constant demos all day at a high DB level? But then I'm thinking, is this something I want to run inside of it? Because I know I'm going to be a game. Is this something I want to run with me inside of it? And what organizations will let me run at whatever level I'm comfortable with? Because, yeah, the only guy that ever tapped me out was Travis when he hot seated me and he went full tilt in the cube. And he hasn't gone full tilt on a lot of people, so I can't compare it. I can't be like, hey, Jimmy, how did you feel in the cube full tilt? Because he didn't full tilt it on you,
No, we didn't.
But to compare that, I was like, I don't know. I got a demo in Russ's van at finals. Stuck my head in a lot of loud vehicles they were running at finals in Midwest. And then I went out and got in the cube, and it rocked my socks like I just got out of a 150 dB truck car and got into a walled vehicle. Like, that's what it felt like to me going in there. And I was just thinking, like, man, at what level am I going to be like, no, I'm just going to stand out here and run the car. I'm not getting in.
I remember my first year at Midwest SPL, I parked next to Chris Russ with that damn van, and I had my minivan, and I was like, really? I have to park next to this loud motherfucker? It's not fair. And I started giving Chris shit, and that's actually when we started talking, and I became friends with Chris.
Yep.
Was that year. And I think, man, I want to say it was like 2016, I think. Maybe 15, 16. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. Just kind of reading the comments now.
I would always crawl inside Randy Wheat's vehicle. Every time you turned it on, I would be inside the box, sitting inside the box. He used to get videos of me climbing inside the box and shit. I climb in there while it was turned up.
I'm trying to remember who climbed into Lenny's Tahoe in his no-wall box. I was trying to think of this the other day, too. Somebody climbed into Lenny's no-wall box in the Tahoe. I'm trying to remember who it was because there were videos and pictures of it. I want to say it was Boland or something like that, but I don't remember who it was. I just remember seeing it and thinking, like, that had to have been loud as hell inside of the box.
If it's big enough for me to fit in, I pretty much have sit in it.
Yeah. I
really like that.
I don't know if I'm just getting more used to the louder builds or if I'm just getting deafer and just numb to the pressure, but man, yeah. I what the hell? Yeah, it was bowling. I've been climbing in a lot of things, and I'm just wondering, like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, am I doing it for me, or am I doing it to show off? Because I don't know anymore. All I know is there are not very many loud vehicles that I will put my butt on the roof anymore for them. There is a DB level where I no longer wish to help you. I'm sorry if you gain having somebody's butt on your roof. I'm just not getting up there anymore because I've had my ass paddled in the lane so many times by loud builds, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
My nickname is the roof whore for a reason. Everybody always wants me to sit on their damn roof. Hell, I bet you probably last year at finals, I bet you if you go back and look through all the damn pictures, you could at least see me on damn near half of the cars that were competing in the lanes last year. It didn't matter who they were.
Yeah.
If they asked, I could help them. I didn't care.
Steve Herman, you can give port demos this year. You're not that loud.
Well, last year at 712 Boom, me and Jamie Bertowski literally was sitting inside his fort and he was just turning it up full tilt while we were both sitting inside of his fort.
Yeah,
That was fun, actually.
the port stuff scares me because there is a lot of pressure inside of those boxes. So I just don't know, and we're gonna have to find out, unfortunately, because things keep getting louder and louder. How much can a human body take before it causes serious damage? Not like freak stuff, because I mean, like I've seen things happen to people in quieter vehicles, but like, at what point is something bad going to happen to somebody in the lanes, or something bad's going to happen to somebody during a demo because they're like, "Bro, let me climb in the box."
You just have your nuts back. Thanks, Dave.
Yo, what's up, Lucas? Yeah. So, not to change the subject, but this just popped in my mind here. I'm breaking my car a lot now, and I've just started resorting to selling all the hoard of crap that I've accumulated over the years to fund fixing it. Which I don't know if I'm the only one that does this or what, but I've just accumulated so much random audio stuff over the years, and I just like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I need upgrades, and I'm like, what can I get rid of to fund this? And it's bad because I could easily grab something. Like, I legit was like talking to the glass company about resetting the back window in my Civic because the seal's bad, and it's been bad, I think, since I put 235Ks in it back in like 2017. I tried some really high powered burps, and the trunk leaks, and it leaks a little bit on the back seat on the floors, and I'm like, man, I got to get that fixed. I can't be having water leaking into the vehicle on the way to shows. Now, mind you, we usually don't go to shows in the rain, but sometimes we drive back. Sometimes we drive to them in the rain. We drove through like 5 hours of rain followed by snow on the way back from Midwest finals last year. That was fun. But so I called the glass company, and they're like, we won't do it for less than $250 because there's a high probability we're going to break your back window, and we're just not going to take the risk without the potential of having the reward, you know? I was like, okay, that's fine. So I just look at the wall and I'm like, what can I sell? Oh, and I just literally grabbed a box off of the wall. And I'm like, all right, took a picture of it, didn't make a for sale post, just posted it on my personal Facebook page. Like, hey, anybody want this Stack Fab box for 212s? And I'm thinking, like, nobody's going to buy this thing because who the hell has a CRX? Well, apparently people wanted the box because I woke up this morning to like 20 people wanting it. And I was like, okay, so should I just start selling everything to fund an even bigger build, or how are we going to handle this? Maybe I want a Panda. Maybe I should sell all the stuff I have here in the shop and buy a Panda. Maybe that's a secret build. Someone's got to do a musical Panda one of these days. Nuts.
Just I'm tired of seeing everybody go buy these foreign vehicles and make them loud. Make something we have here loud for once.
See, I just want to do it to do it because everyone's like, I would never ruin a Panda like that. You know how much these things cost? It would fall apart from the base. And I'm like, yeah, and like this Civic, like I get people offering me money for my Civic, like at gas stations, and like every time I take the thing out places because it's in good shape, really good shape for its year. And I'm like, bro, I have full intentions on beating the ever-loving shit out of this car to the point where it's no longer worth anything to you. Well, why would you do that? That's a classic. Well, because I like to break things. And I just feel like it'd be great to buy a Panda and destroy it in a couple of years and have people be like, I can't believe Mike did that, just to do it.
Well, that's why I built the Nitro, because there's nobody else around here that has a Nitro build. Drew was
That's why
the
I
only
built
one.
the Fusion. That was why I built the Fusion.
One at that point in time was the only one that I knew had a build in a Nitro.
Yeah. They're just not that popular of a vehicle in general. There's not as many of them on the road.
Years.
Yeah.
Sorry, I made them for like 7 years. Sorry, but they didn't sell very many. People bought the Jeep instead.
Yeah. The brand name.
It's
not the off-brand.
It's the same thing as the Jeep Liberty. Literally, half of the parts off a Jeep Liberty will fit right on mine.
Well, it's like an Avalanche or an Escalade. You know, the Escalade trucks are like the Avalanches. You buy the brand name or you buy the off-brand. You're getting the
Yeah.
same thing, but it looks a little different, and it's got a different badge on it. Some people like that. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm down for the
No,
cheap.
no,
Then you take the badges off and you make them wonder what the hell you got.
no different than GM and Chevy.
Oh, 100%.
Same thing.
There's a lot of vehicles out there. I think people would be surprised, like when you look up like the interchange for like certain, like you're like, oh, this is a really weird alternator. I bet you I can't get this. It's like, oh, well, this is also the same engine that's in this car and in this car. Completely different automakers, you know. They're just sharing the same stuff because you can only make so many parts, you know. But a lot of people be surprised on those things that there's a lot of interchange. You're buying pretty much the same stuff with a different logo on it, but 89 Civic hatch for basic one. Bro, the EFs are, I used to think they were the ugliest cars in the history of ugly, and I really like the old like square Civics now. I just have this thing for them. But yeah, I don't know. Beer Based Mafia did a 58, 59. They did a lot. It's totally reasonable to do over a 60 with a single 15 in a Panda. Now, I'd like to do music on a single 15 in a Panda. That'd be cool. Yeah, you know what, Sam? That's how I felt about our CRX2. People would ask me, they're like, "Bro, that is super clean. Why are you doing audio with it? You know, like why would you do that? You know?" And it's just like, and they don't even know. Like, if they saw what these cars look like in the lanes, like all of these loud cars, unless they're dead into like the absolute max, like the Pandas, Civics, the old Explorers, the S10s, all of these cars that are loud without sufficient deadener flop like absolute like tin cans going wild, and they tear themselves apart. So you kind of have to get to the point where if you want the cars to last, you need to get one that is, you know, virgin SPL car, and you need to do all of the work before you put any of the equipment in it, because you're going to wreck it if you don't. And I mean, I did that with my Fusion. I absolutely murdered that car to the point where it was 2 years old and the doors were tearing. There's a tear in the roof that luckily I never had to fix because it never got bad enough that it leaked. But there's, you know, it was just falling apart. And I was like, I'm just going to buy a car that I can ruin. And then I got the Civic and I put everything in the Civic. I was like, I'm just going to see what it does before I put deadener in it. And I think just the hits that I did without deadener in that thing were probably bad enough to break something like before I even got past go. Like, we didn't go to a show and it was already breaking on us. And now the car's like, it's got deadener on top of deadener. It's got like 4 layers of deadener just on the panels, like not even on the steel, just on the plastic. I'm just trying to keep stuff together at this point. Now the weirdest things are breaking, you know? And it's just getting wild.
On each door.
Yeah. I have full intentions on adding at least probably 300 more pounds of deadener just to our Civic this year. And for anybody that's seen that car, it is absolutely fortified as it is. Like, it's got ballistic properties to the doors with as much deadener as it has, kind of like yours. And I have full intentions on adding more. And I don't know if it's like an addiction at this point where it's like, I just want to have like 20 layers on my doors. I'm sorry. Or if it's because every time I tested games, you know.
I've actually had a couple judges ask me, you know, what'd you do to your doors? They're awful stiff. I said, it's just deadener, I promise you. You want to look at it, go ahead. It's a bitch to pull the damn inner skins out of the door. But
yep,
more than welcome to do it. But I promise you, like, my driver's door it's got actually 3 layers of death mounts, and my passenger doors has 9 layers of Vibraflex.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
you know, that brings up a good point, and this is something that I asked recently with another organization's judging staff. I'm not going to say any names; people already know. But I'm not going to put any people's names out there. I asked this question, and I instantly got feedback from people that was pretty much like, "Get the fuck out, Mike! Like, shut up! Don't talk to us." And I said, "Why do we even care what's underneath the panels anymore with all the deadener that's out there? Like, 5 layers of double rigid or 1 inch of concrete? What's going to be better for SPL? Let's be realistic. You know, we're getting to that point in these cars with this deadener, and it's only going to keep getting, like, somebody's going to find a way some sort of deadener that we're going to use where we're going to heat it up and it is going to get absolutely solid as a rock, and it's not going to get pliable whatsoever under heat again. It's just going to be a one and done deal.
I know a certain person that actually took Vibraflex and melted it down and poured it into their doors.
Hi, that's a thing now.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to say who has done it because a lot of loud guys have done it, but you get a turkey
I know some
fryer.
people have done it. I'm not going to pass out any names, but
you cut up that Vibraflex and you put it in turkey fryer. Now, because Vibraflex isn't something that's offered specifically with a set of instructions, a lot of organizations can't do anything about it because they're still using Vibraflex, which has been deemed as deadener to deaden their vehicle. And you can 100% do this. You can liquefy Vibraflex to where it will pour like molasses into your doors, into your crevices, your cavities, you name it. You can liquefy it into a sludge, which, by the way, don't get on you. It will burn you instantly. And it's kind of like hot glue. If you ever get hot glue on you where you're like, I don't know if I should wipe that off or if I'm just going to smear it and make it worse.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, just leave it there and just cry a little bit, stare at it, and then peel it off when it cools down. But it's 100% like that. And you can pour it in your doors. You can pour it on your floors. You can do all that stuff. Why do we care what deadener is at this point anymore when people have gone to this extreme? Why does it matter? If all your doors and all your panels are there, does it really matter? And that's been something that I've been bringing up with a bunch of organizations, and I get the same response from people. But I think a lot of the people that are decision makers in a lot of these organizations don't know, number one, how extreme people are capable of going with this. And number two, they don't know if you have 3 layers of Vibraflex, a layer of sheet steel, and then 3 more layers of Vibraflex on top of it. They don't know if you got concrete in your doors because, quite frankly, like Midwest SPL Finals, when I was inspecting cars last year, I'm knocking on them. I'm trying to be respectful about it because I know you knock on some of them and you can dent them, right? As hard as we're knocking on these cars, I'm knocking on them. Knock a little harder. Knock a little harder. I don't know what the hell that is. Did they glue MDF to their roof, or did they got 5 layers of deadener on it? You can stand on the roof of the Civic right now, as cold as it is in the shop. I can stand on it with 3 layers of Vibraflex on it. So why do we care what people are putting in their cars anymore? If they put 8 layers of deadener in their doors, you're getting the same outcome.
Exactly. Well, I figure it like this, and I mean, my way of looking at it is eventually people are going to get tired of tearing their vehicles up and spending money. So why not allow them to do what they need to do to fix it, to keep them still interested in the organization or the just running period? I mean, because after a while, if you keep breaking stuff over and over and over and over again, and you're not allowed to put a steel plate or a stripper pole or a wood roof or just anything that, all kinds of organizations are not allowing you to do, it's like, they're going to get tired of it and they're going to get bored and they're going to move on to something else.
I think that has been 100% the biggest downfall in car stereo competition is that they're no longer daily drivers to be competitive in a lot of classes. And you have to make the decision on whether or not you want to spend a lot of money, do a lot of upkeep, and spend more time working on putting your car back together, especially if it's worth money. Like, it just hurts to do that. If you've got just some random 90s shit box that you put audio in that you compete in, like I feel like a lot of guys do, it's whatever. If you got your daily and you might still be making payments on it, or it's it's just paid off, it's only so many years old, and you're beating this up because you want to have a big stereo in it, you want to have your daily have a big build in it, and it's falling apart. It's a decision you made, but should you have to decide, I'm going to let my car keep falling apart and go potentially to the point where it's going to cost me big money to fix it, or am I just going to make this modification that, yes, might disqualify me from certain organizations and certain classes, but I'm going to do it because I want to keep my car together? And it's been this big thing with the rule book, and so many old school people are so bound to like the rules and the ideas of what happened 10, 20, 30 years ago in car audio that they're not seeing where the industry is today. That's why we get base base meets in parking lots getting more attendance than some shows, because people just want to listen to their music. They want to give demos. They want to do whatever, and they don't want to put their car together based off of a 50-page rule book. And like I was saying just last week, like I like rules, I like structure, like I want to compete on a competitive level with this card that we're building in all organizations, and I like the rules. But this isn't
What
my
card?
daily, and I don't play music in this thing, and I almost never demo it either. It is strictly for competition. I enjoy the competition. Now, if you told me that I have to put the system back in my daily driver, you can kiss those rules goodbye, because I'm not going to care. You know, if I rebuilt the Fusion, which I still daily, if I rebuilt that car and went back to competing with that thing again, I can't say that I would really care about any organization's classes besides, honestly, probably Base Wars, or classes that don't specify what mods are okay and what's cool, because there's so much of that car that's falling apart as it is. I would have to do like major structural reinforcement to keep it from breaking further. I don't care about SPL. I don't want to break my car for, the sake of being legal in an organization. So we've been seeing this huge decline, even though the industry is up and the amount of spending in the industry is huge from anybody that works from a shop standpoint. But yet we're still seeing less people competing because they want to enjoy their audio. They don't want to spend all this money for something that sits in the garage.
100%. Too much gray area. Absolutely.
We'll see what happens over the years. It's either going to change or it's not, I guess we'll just find out. But yeah,
I mean, they're going to, honestly, all the other organizations are going to have to change. And I'm not saying any one particular, but at some point in time, they're going to have to realize that they're going to have to start changing with the times, or they're going to start losing competitors to organizations like Base Wars. And I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. People are going to get tired of it and be done with all the rules and the nonsense and come over here to have fun again. And, and that's one of my favorite sayings that I've said for the last year is Base Wars is about bringing fun back to the lanes. And I mean that. That's one thing I love about Base Wars is no rules. Have fun. If you don't like it, rerun. Who cares? Just do it,
I think everybody thinks that every organization, like a good majority of people think that every organization that does car stereo competitions needs to be like the elite, the premier, the top dog, the most competitive, the most hardcore competitors, all of this. And what they're not realizing is that what Base Wars was kind of founded on and what it's been progressively, growing into bigger and bigger is your average everyday guys that have their systems that want to be competitive and they want to compete, but they want to leave at the end of the day and they want to have their systems. Like, this isn't the loudest people in the world competing in Base Wars, maybe someday, but right now it's the area that so many other organizations have slacked on because they don't consider it to be as legit as what they're doing. And so I made a comment to somebody recently. I said, if you're sleeping on Base Wars right now, like, you absolutely will regret it later. This is when people were talking about Bitcoin, 5-10 years ago. Well, not 10, but 5 years ago, they're like, this is going to be huge. Cryptocurrency is going to be huge. And everybody's like, nah, that's not real money. That's not what we're doing. There's nothing to back it, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, now they're it's coming back to bite them in the ass today. And I feel like that's where organizations will be 5 years from now with Base Wars. It's like, you're catering to the competitor, not to the competition. You have a competition with average everyday guys. This is going to promote more people bringing their family back out. I think it's going to promote more people enjoying their daily drivers and enjoying audio and all of that. And keeping consistent with where the times are at today is going to be 100% it. And I don't know if Chris Russ is still watching, but we went to a show together in like Bismarck. I want to say it was like Bismarck. So like probably longer than the distance from your place to mine. And I did a show out there and we were driving back and it was the end of the season. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be a judge again next year. And he said, why? And I said, this isn't fun. Like, it's not fun for the competitors. It's not fun for me. What can I do, or what can I convince the organization to go in a direction where we're going to get more people back out to the shows? Because I'm thinking of car audio from even 10 years ago, which was huge compared to today. The amount of people at shows, the participation, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what can we do to get back even there? Even though, like, when I first got into the car audio scene, exposed to it was 20 years ago, and it was 10 times what it is now. And things cost a lot more too then. Yeah. So Chris and I we're driving back from middle of nowhere, North Dakota, and we're talking, and I'm like, how can I get people more interested to do this? Because I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this isn't even fun for me. Like, competition, yes, but when you go to a show and you see the way shows used to be compared to the way that they are today, it's like, damn, things change. You know, if we took somebody that's been out of the scene for a couple of years and we put them in a show today, they'd be like, oh, this is a bad turnout. What's going on here? No, this is one of the biggest shows we've had all year. And I think the problem is so many people have been sleeping on what the industry wants in the direction it's been wanting to go, that they're going to miss it, and they're going to have to play catch up hardcore to be able to adapt to where I feel like certain people are going today. Like when USAC brought in a demo class and everybody's like, that's stupid. How are you going to judge that? That's dumb. It's popular. You know, Bass Wars comes in and starts popping up everywhere, and people are like, why are they having so many shows? Like, they don't even have a rule book. It's like, because it's just people enjoying their stuff, having a good time, kicking it with their friends.
My first show came down here, and it was in November, and it was 50 degrees outside, and I'm thinking, all right, well, we're not going to have very good of a turnout because it's 50 degrees outside. We had 45 competitors my first show.
Yep.
We had people like, you know, Jamie Bertowski driving from Nebraska all the way down here. I actually had a really good turnout, and I was actually really surprised. And the funny part about it is, I can honestly say, even with COVID, my smallest show this year was like, I think 20 competitors.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was my smallest show. I had some decent shows this year, and I was pretty impressed with it. I was, you know, humbled by it, and I appreciate all your guys' love and support.
Yeah. It's the first show that I went to, the Bass Wars was at the Icky Nickel that you were doing. Now, mind you, I had seen things before, and I had been watching, like Billy was starting to post more videos of like live in the lanes, which people need to realize too. I've seen people comment online, more organizations need to do this, Bass Wars needs to do this more, all this kind of stuff. And you just need to realize that sometimes the places that we do shows do not have good cell reception. So being able to do a live stream is difficult, you know? So, but I saw somebody making a comment.
They kept shutting his live feeds down because of the music that was playing. So it got to be where it wasn't even worth it for him anymore. That's why he quit doing it.
What Billy needs to do is use this streaming software and run another song in the background at a low volume. The free stuff. And it's going to mess with the software and recognizing that the other song is playing, and he'll be good. And then, you know, just some chill music that doesn't totally clash with everything that's going on. But there's going to be so much stuff going on that the software is not going to be able to pick it up. Yep. But I don't know if Billy's still here. I haven't seen him comment in a minute, but we were talking about the Deadner stuff, and it just kind of like jogged my memory. I don't know if you remember this, Jimmy, but back in the day, a lot of guys were cheating because there was the Deadner limitation on how much Deadner you could put in your car. They were cheating, and they were putting Bondo on the outside of their cars and covering their whole car in Bondo. Like, that's an extreme, man. And was it cheating, though?
Billy actually said that earlier. It was like Bondo the inside of your door.
Yeah, Bondo in the doors. But, I mean, like, there were some cars, like, it was totally a DB drag thing. But there were some cars in drag that had, like, an inch thick Bondo across the whole outside of their car. They created, like, another shell on the outside of their car. And, yeah, when you're only allowed so many layers of Deadner, there's no doubt that
sawdust and pouring resin and sawdust all over the inside of your door and letting it harden, too.
Yeah, that or resin and sand. It works same way. And you know what? I swear that's stronger than concrete. And I think that's why, like the Soundcheck guys, they did that in their the Terra that they've been building. They did that in their Extreme vehicle. They didn't mess with concrete. And concrete is cheaper. Doesn't cure as fast, but it is cheaper. Yeah, that'll be good, Scott. I just saw the thing earlier today for it. I think you invited me. It's in September. What's the date on that for anybody that is
Yeah,
watching if they're interested?
it was
Um,
fun. There was 3 different organizations there, and we all had a really good
yep,
show.
Matt. Still holding 30 years later. Yeah. I like the Base Wars format. Yeah, Steve says that. I like the Base Wars format, but there's one thing I have a problem with, and I'm going to be talking to Billy about this. I think the trunk classes need a little bit of fine tuning because there's no way that the car that we have in our shop right now should be in the middle class. We should be in Kingpin without a doubt. I think it's Godfather. We should be 100% the top. And I was thinking, like, I feel like it'd be safe for like a Savage kind of build to run the entry level trunk class, like 5K. I'd say entry level, but you know what I mean, the lower level trunk class, middle one being a decent amount, and then I think anything over like probably 8-10K should be up in that higher class anyway. So, but I think that the cone area, like 900 inches of cone, is more than I can fit in my trunk in a box that it would be anywhere near happy in. So I was like, that's my only complaint about Base Wars today is the trunk class. But it's not a
He
complaint
said we're
because
already tweaking them.
I wouldn't have a problem with things. Yeah, now we're talking. Tweak it, because I mean I'm gonna run Kingpin with this car to be hopefully trying to pull more competitive cars to go against. Because we
Are
are
you
gonna
not going
send
to
it
run
this
Fort
year.
Wars?
Uh, I would build something specifically for Port Wars if I was going to build a car for Port Wars. Um,
You already did the 171 in Fort Wars.
yeah, the car can do way over that now. But the problem with that is I don't like putting anything in the box that isn't attached at this point. I don't want to break somebody's mic. And I remember like, um,
Build one of yours. It ain't like you
I,
ain't got 50,000 of them sitting there.
I'm not going to break a mic. I had one issue with one, and I talked to Wayne about it. And he doesn't seem like he's going to be that happy to just replace a mic if I throw it in a box and it gets thrown around violently into the walls. But I don't know. I would build something specifically for Port Wars if I was going to build it, and my goal would be to be like those guys in USAC that have gotten up around the mid 180s range. I feel like that's absolutely insane. It's a whole different thing. It's not car audio anymore, but neither are burp classes if you want to get technical. So,
Exactly.
you didn't put subs in your car to burp it when you first got it. You put them in to listen to it. So why don't you listen to it? But I enjoy the burp classes just as much. So, but yeah, I built something specific for it. Actually, what I want to do is I want to build my daughter an extreme Power Wheels. It's been on my list of things I want to do for years. I want to replicate a scale down and extreme vehicle into a Power Wheels. And I want to put like 2 beefy 8s on it. And I want to send every ounce of power that those things can take. That's kind of like, that's what I'd love to do. Secret Bill, do it. I bet you won't. Chris Nelson was trying to do. Yeah.
Then you want some comp for them Power Wheels.
I'm not driving all the way to your house, Matt, to get a Power Wheels from you. I'm sorry. I'll spend more money in gas than I will grabbing it local off of Marketplace or Craigslist.
I've actually, now that I have my grandbaby, we've already been talking about doing a Power Wheel build for her. So, yeah. Gives me a reason because, like you, I've been wanting to do one for years. And just, how am I going to build a Power Wheel build? There's no kids around.
I've been thinking about that too. And I've been like, I know so many people that would do it. And I really want to try to start a thing with it, Because I feel like it'd be a fun little side project, a little science experiment, if anything. But I would love to make a scale model extreme vehicle just to say that I have one, But I don't know. I guess we'll see how people go with that. Maybe that can be a trend. All right, I'm bringing the power wheels. Yeah, but yeah, the Civic right now will do probably around like a 74 in the port. I was actually testing for a while with one mic inside of the box and one on the dash to compare scores. Um, Basically to see if the subs were louder and it wasn't the cabin that was gaining. But I got a lot of good info out of that. Um, but yeah, I haven't really been doing much of that. I've been doing a little bit of testing since like the competition season last year, but I've kind of just been chilling. You know, saying, "Hey, I got all winter in a heated shop to work on my build. I'm going to get this thing dialed." And then spring comes around, and I'm like, "Shit!" Scraping 5 inches of sawdust off the top of my car.
I hate you. I wish I had a garage. If I had a garage, I could actually have so much fun with it. I built it in my gravel driveway in the weather.
Yeah, I did that. It wasn't fun. Do I like paying as much money to have this? No. I think there would be a happy medium where I would have a heated garage at my house that I could work on stuff, but that is not currently a possibility. So, you know, with everything here, because most of my business I've been doing has been box builds. So I'm like, why do I have a big shop I'm paying all this money on every month when, I mean, I could be putting thousands of dollars in my pocket every month that I'm spending just to keep the doors open, you know? And it's been an immense amount of box builds. I'm like, man, I just need to get a place with like a pole building or something where I can do my work out of there. But I don't know. The heated shop's
Me and
nice,
my
but it
wife's
costs money,
goal.
man.
Me and my wife's goal is probably the next 5 years is I'm gonna sell this house. We're gonna move a little farther out. I want a nice little small 2 bedroom house for her and a garage big enough to fit like 12 cars in.
Yep. You know what I think needs to happen too? I'm gonna throw this out here. Ready? I saw Adam's comment in the. Hold on, I gotta plug my phone in. I saw Adam's comment in the comments. I think that somebody's got to get together. You know, maybe this can be something that happens with the. Hopefully, this doesn't screw up my mic. All right, something to happen with the everyday audios guys, but we need to have a $150 challenge class in an organization or like a budget class because I think that'd be really competitive too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be actually pretty cool.
I think if we had like a $150 challenge class in an organization, that'd be fun to play with. Man, my phone is not charging. Killing me. I'm at 2%. The thing's like flashing. Low battery. Do something, man.
Right.
We got these old cables that have been run over by like 200 cars in the shop because it's 10 feet long. Probably Russ's cable, actually. That's how many cars it done been run over by. All right, we're here. Is it screws up my camera when I do that, doesn't it? It's charging
No,
now that it's vertical, so I'm just gonna have to. Does this make my
it's
picture look
fine.
stupid? Oh, cool.
No.
Dumb on my end, but I'd tape my phone down for it to work. Was
What the
Yeah,
fuck,
Matt's got a new
Chris?
house he moved into last year. That'd be good for him. Bit of a dumb question. Oh, there's no such thing as dumb questions, just dumb people, Hayden. All right, I'm going to read his question. Yes, I remember you peeing in the cheese puffs, Chris. I remember it clear as day. I like those cheese puffs.
Wow.
Not after you peed in them. I have a bit of a dumb question. So I did a 148.3 at 31 hertz last time I attended Base Wars. If I were to retune my Aeroport to around the 40 hertz range, what do you guys think would be my score? I'm well aware that the result will vary greatly depending on many factors, but I just want to see what everyone thinks would be a possible score. Well, what's your car? 31 hertz, depending on the vehicle. You know, some cars have two peaks. being tuned that low, you might be taking advantage of that lower peak. You might be louder at the higher. It really is hard to say. It is a guessing game, but I mean, maybe with the car, somebody in the comments might have experience with one. They've seen one in the lane, something like that, and they might be able to give you an idea.
Yeah, depending on the car and speakers and amps, and it's a 2000 Jeep Wrangler hardtop.
Yeah. I lost 10 pounds at that angle. All right. You know, I've seen a lot of women on these dating sites that they can lose 100 pounds just by getting it from that.
Yeah, no, you gotta hold it up here. It's gotta be that angle where it's holding up here and facing down on you.
It's got to be at a high enough angle where you can't see all 5 chins, or from the bottom.
Yeah, well, I'm
where
telling you,
don't get the
it's
shadow from the 5 chins. See, I cheat on the multiple chins. I just throw the hair down there right over the part. When I shave it, I'm like, man, I like not having facial hair because I don't like messing with it. But when I shave it, man, it scares me every damn time. Every time. I'm like, oh, what the hell? It's been a couple of years.
Definitely. Mortal Kombat.
I was joking with my kid. She's like, Dad, I wish you had long hair. I'm like, should I grow out what hair grows out? And then I'll shave the beard. That would be scary.
Have a comb over?
Oh, no. No comb over. I'm just gonna send it down the sides. Oh God. Shit 7 times a day for 2 months. Nah, bro.
I'm good about that.
First of all, I already do that and I ain't got no COVID problems.
Shit, I can lose 5 pounds by taking a shit all day long. That ain't no problem. Ask anybody that knows me.
Yeah. No, I don't know. 7 times a day. I'm gonna go off the Travis Young gave me COVID. And I'm gonna stick by it. I'm gonna blame him. And that's why JY is going to be an integral part of our systems this year because he feels bad last year for giving me COVID. That's what I'm going to say. He's going to disagree, but we're all hanging out at finals together, and half of us come back and get sick. And he was the first person to get sick, so I'm going to just throw him under the bus and say that he was the spreader. Y'all wild, just hit the gym and eat right. Stop playing. Steve, the problem is that I eat right. I eat right. I love what I eat. That's the damn problem. Yeah, Billy knows what's up. You don't need that hair.
I don't eat right. I eat like shit.
I eat Chinese buffets out of business. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Steve, yeah, Tony called you out on that. No one does that. Only weird people do that. See, I got fat because of steroids. Long story, but I got fat because of steroids. Now I just got to maintain the fat, so I got to maintain the physique. True story.
That's because you had cancer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they put me on a crap ton of steroids because they're like, you don't have an immune system, so this should help you maybe. Here, take this. Like, it says for horses only. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. These ones are cheaper.
I mean, hell, I bet you a lot of people don't even know Michael's actually a musician. Yeah, spit that word out there, Jimmy. Shit.
Musician?
Yeah, there is. That one, duh.
I am a professional triangle player.
A what?
Professional triangle player.
Whatever.
I also dabble in the cowbell in my free time.
You actually have a degree in sound engineering or something too, don't you?
I've got a degree in music. That's what I went to school for. And I also have a business degree, which neither of them do anything for me in life. I've joked around about doing music full time, but that would 100% take me away from car audio because, my weekends would be gone. And I've passed on plenty of shows that we could have. What the hell? That's the
He's
point
got a horse.
I read that comment and I was just like, I didn't read that comment. But yeah, I passed on shows because we had big car audio events, and I was like, man, they're gonna find somebody else and realize I suck, and they're gonna replace me in the group because they're weekends. Hey, Mike, can you do a show this weekend? No, I can't. I'll be in whatever city. Oh man, why? All right, we'll bring in whoever. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna fire me for them. I know you can cheat on me with them. You like them more.
He said, "Ding ding, more cowbells."
Yeah, cowbell. Professional though. I mean, you got to have the right technique. It's all in the wrist. A lot of things in life, all in the wrist.
A flick of the wrist.
Yep. Yep. I'm just gonna leave it at that. See, I look like my picture is tiny when you went to this screen. I gotta that number.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, I hope my phone stays. All right, it's charging. All right. Yeah, I was watching these midget tossing competitions for a couple hours earlier, ate my battery up.
You said midget tossing. What the hell, like?
Yeah, well, like they throw them and see how far they can throw them. It's a thing. It is a thing. True story.
No way.
Yeah. It is. Jimmy, when you do your rebuild, why don't you just put a bunch of kicker in there? See, like, Kicker's already sponsoring Base Wars. Just get some of them L7s, like, like 915s. Just a nice even number.
They tossed it. Thanks, Tony.
Hey, now. They're tossing Steve Benton. The shortest guy in audio that I know. Used to be, I thought it was Adam, but after seeing Steve, I think he's shrinking. Standing next to him at finals, I'm like, Steve, when did I grow an inch taller than you? I hate this. The camera's on this side of that side of my phone. That way.
No, other side.
It's on that side of my phone. My image is reversed. And I can't seem to get it in a good spot. That's my pizza maker. That's the couch.
The couch.
And this is like, see if it works. Just a couple of the nightshades. I got 4 more on order from Directronics.
Directronics.
Yeah, we're gonna start with those. Do pretty good. Big old fat 4th order. And it's all going to be steel. That was the deal that we were talking about. There will not be any wood in this box, period. It's all going to be steel. Steel cage, 1/2-inch steel plate for the walls. And then we're going to do some steel tubes for the subs. So I don't want to have any wood in that thing.
Tony said casting couch.
Casting couch is an accurate statement. 915s in the Nitro. See, David knows what's up. Let's do it.
Never know.
Matt, I like that. New class at Midwest SPL. How far you can toss a judge. I know that whoever has to toss me is gonna lose. So we're good.
But you're not a judge for Midwest SPL.
Steve, I love that. Oh, that's Here, hold on. I'm going to drink these eye drops. Be right back.
Oh, shit.
Still looking for somebody to take over up here. But, hey, Russ. Hey, old buddy, old pal. We're looking for a Midwest SPL promoter for this area. You'd fit the ticket. You know what the organization is, which instantly makes you more qualified than half the people in this area. You do good. I'd pay to see Steve toss, dude. That could be a charity thing. Steve's all about charity. Bro, I would get a group of guys together. Well, I'll kick in some money and see how far we can toss them.
Shit, we'll just pay Luch. He can come up with that steak dinner.
Oh,
Chris already told him no. He said,
tell him yes and stop being a little bitch. I think we should toss Steve Herman too. Yep.
That is funny as hell.
Toss Steve Herman. Russ is like, doing audio would take away from me doing audio.
I always told everybody, if their build's not loud enough to float me, it's not loud. That's the new goal. You have to float a Jimmy in your port.
You know, I've made jokes about floating a midget for years. Like, that thing's so loud you can float a midget in the side window. Like, it's gonna happen one of these days. Short guy's gonna walk by and they're gonna get picked up. They'll be floating in the window.
Sucked in there.
Like one of those flailing tube men. Help! Man. Yeah. All I know is I knows nothing. And this is the year for audio, isn't it?
Yeah. It's going to be good year.
That's all I got to say. Sony know about all the music you stole from them?
Squirrel.
Ooh, look, something shiny. But no, man, I am totally gonna enjoy audio this year. That's all I'm gonna do. So I'm not gonna do stuff I don't want to do. And I think I've made that pretty obvious to some people, but some people just don't seem to get it. No, I don't want to be a judge, Chris. That's the point. I don't want to be a judge. I just hope I still have enough. Ain't nobody for nothing. I
still hope that I have enough time to compete this year.
What?
I said I hope that I have enough time to compete this year.
I'm going to be a full-time competitor. I'm going to find a show every damn weekend and make excuses why I couldn't go. It's a lot of work, man.
Pretty much.
It's a lot of work. And then pass up the local show to drive 6 hours to a show just because. Go down to Louisiana, say hi to Billy.
Right. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to post some of the dates yet, Dan.
Yeah, COVID sucked, Colby. It sucked for everybody, so it's going to be good this year. I'm confident in that. COVID might still be around, but I think we're gonna have a good audio season. I'm pretty confident in that.
David, I am going to go to Scrapin'. I've been there for the last 4 years in a row. I'm definitely going.
I feel like Slamology is going to be ridiculous this year, 100%. No rain, hopefully. And if it does rain, it's not going to be like that one year when we were canoeing through the parking lot.
Boy, that fucking sucked.
There was not a part of me that was dry that year.
I finally gave up and just started walking around with nothing, just my shirt and a fucking pair of shorts on. And started fucking, hey, give me a demo. Help dry me out a little bit.
Yep. See, that's the thing. I think a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to get wet. No, I'm not going to do that. It's like, once you finally get wet, you're just wet, you know? You don't want to get wet and be wet, but once you are, you just come to terms with it. And it's like, all right, I'm just going to get out and walk around. I'm not going to hide under this canopy anymore. Like, I'm just going to commit to this.
Yep.
Yeah. All the audio-proof stunt wall or waterproof stunt walls were frying because they were getting wet.
Yeah.
No, that was
Got
wild.
a few.
There were only a few people that were really like the committed people stayed. Like for us, it was like it's 10 hours away. Like we're staying because we came all the way out here. We're not gonna, we're not gonna
I
pack up
set
and
up my
watch the
deck
damn rain.
tent parked underneath there and sit in demo mode all day long. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, we had
Luckily, I
parts of the
had my.
build that were like unfinished. And I'm like, man, if they get water on them, they're wrecked. And I'm like, oh well, we'll fix them when we get back. We didn't drive all the way out here to sit with the door shut.
I remember getting demo from the Bravado with the fucking door being wide open, and he's like, the speakers are getting wet, and you're like, oh hell, who cares at this point in time?
Yeah, yeah, it was just kind of like at some point you just accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
there you
definitely.
go, Travis. Yeah, Kip, that was a wet show that year. I got a tour of the little kicker trailer that year. That was pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I think that's a cool thing to have at shows. I know they were talking about how expensive it is to get that out to shows, but man, I like that. So yeah, that was wet. It was very, very, very wet that year. Tents were going, rolling through the parking lot because the random wind gusts that would come through, and it cleared out, and then it got better for a little while, and some people came back, and then it hit it again, and everybody was just like, no, that's it. I'm packing up. I'm leaving. I'm like, well, it's going to take me a long time to get home. So I'm just going to wait it out and see if something happens because I'm not just going to leave and, be pissed because the weather got better and I was on my way home.
right.
So we just kind of waited it out. And it's funny because Donnie has written on the Slamology website, like, what if there's a rain out? Like the rain out policy for Slamology, like there are no refunds for that. And he's like, says something on there. It used to say, like, let's be real, it's Indiana in June. The likelihood of rain is slim, or something like that. And I was like, you
Yeah,
gotta just delete that off of your. It might still be up there, but like, you just need to delete that off of your whole website. You jinxed all of us. Like, that's true. You're more likely to die a heat stroke than you are to drown in the flood at Slamology, but both are possible now. We know that for sure.
boy, my first year I died there 2 years ago. It was a fucking swim mess. It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty crazy, man. I enjoyed it though. I made a lot of memories being soaked.
Oh, I did too. I
We
remember driving
went to
around
San Diego for a while in they had their Sound Digital golf cart and he was just driving me around Slamology and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then all of a sudden I turn around and he's leaving. And I'm like, "Nah, I ain't going with him." And apparently he spent like 20 minutes looking for me to try to pick me back up. He thought he had left me. I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna let him do his thing." And yeah, all of a sudden it started raining. It was like a couple hours of real nice weather in the morning, and then the rain came. And
Absolutely.
Sundown was like, "No, we're packing up and going home early," and they were all like packing their stuff up. Uh, I understand that, Kip. Yeah, I saw you guys had discussed that. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever? It was,
It was
recently.
2 weeks ago.
But yeah, it was the cost, and a lot of people don't realize too the liability for a company paying employees to be traveling, all that kind of stuff. Um, it's expensive. It's expensive, and then I mean the rig in itself is expensive, but I'm sure it's paid itself off and then some. In terms of advertising at the big events, especially the ones that are closer to home. But yeah, packing that thing up and driving it across the country, I can imagine gets quite expensive. And now with fuel prices potentially going up,
Skyrocketing. Hell.
I don't know about you guys, but it's up 50 cents in the last probably month. 50 cents a gallon.
I'd say
Here.
30 here.
And they're saying that some of it is the shutdowns in Texas, but the numbers were still going up beforehand, and I'm really hoping that fuel prices don't get out of control, because that's the biggest determining factor on what shows I go to this year and how I get vehicles there. Because I've been talking forever, been wanting an enclosed trailer to haul the base car around in. Partially for security when we do go to big shows and we leave it at night in a parking lot. I'd much rather an enclosed trailer with an alarm on it than just the car sitting in the parking lot for people to look in.
Right.
And there is no way at $3 plus a gallon for us right now. It's like $2.39, $2.49 for regular unleaded, and that's how I'm basing all of my gas prices, just off the regular. And for that, if that goes over $3 a gallon, there is absolutely no way in hell that I am going to trailer that car to shows. It gets 35 miles per gallon. Why would I want to get 10? And yeah, I get the comfort of driving in a nice vehicle that's got cruise control and air conditioning and all this stuff, but 35 miles per gallon. I already have my juice picked out. Yeah, it's always expensive in California, and California 100% leads the nation in their tax on fuel too, which is why they're always more expensive. But California is trying to be the first full green state, so they're really pushing it, and the prices being higher are on purpose. But yeah, Minnesota not as much, but yeah, we've seen prices go up, and there is no way I'm putting that vehicle in an enclosed trailer and hauling it to shows 10, 12, 14, 16 hours away. Or we were talking about bringing it down to the showdown, which is now the SEMA showdown, which was the CES showdown this year at SEMA. And I'm like, man, I'm not hauling that car in a trailer with that fuel economy. It is a full 24-hour drive, and we have to go through the mountains in the winter.
It's 19 for me.
Yeah, it's 24-hour drive, and I think we go the same route. Once we get down to your area, it's the same route on the way out. So
Colorado and stuff, yeah.
Just imagine if you got on 35 and you went north for 6 hours. That's pretty much all I would do. I'm 10 minutes from 35. I'd hop on that, go 6 hours down through Iowa, down into Missouri, and then over to the Kansas area, and I'd be right there with you. And then the rest of the drive, just as boring. But I'd be willing to drive it. I want to get the car out there to compete. I wanted to last year. But plane tickets were so cheap last year. This is, even before COVID, but plane tickets were so cheap. This car gets 35 miles per gallon. It was cheaper for me to fly there and back than it was for me to drive it. And that would have been 2 full days of drive time that I would have eaten. So, not a 3-hour flight. Is what it is. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping gas prices don't go up, because I think that will affect turnouts more than anything this year, especially the bigger builds.
Yes,
I agree
sir.
They're not green whatsoever, and the process to manufacture them and the battery banks that go in them too are not green. But they use less oil while they're driving. That's about it. Yeah, Colby says he had 32, and now his new build he only gets 12. But you went from a Subaru wagon to one of those square body Jeeps, and you already know that's going to be super loud for them, and with lots of space for activities.
I get 21 miles a gallon in my Nitro. I get I get 15 in my new truck.
I'm guesstimating 8 with our new build. I feel like 8 is a pretty decent number. I think that's where we're going to be. 8 miles per gallon. Just going to be heavy. But, I 30 miles per gallon plus for me with an audio build is insane. So that's kind of why I like the trunk car. And I've talked about walling it. Not like there's enough power to even move it around if it got any heavier, but we talked about walling it, and I was like, man, I'm going to lose the fuel economy, and I'm going to lose the space. And I like being able to load all my stuff up in there. And I could stuff stuff in the wall for sure, but I like being able to load stuff in there and drive to a show with decent gas and get back without spending a bunch of money. Yeah, Matt's been running the same S10 in the lanes since like 2002 or 1999 or something. It's been a long time with him.
Right.
8 gallons per mile. No. So it's got the good old 6.0 LS, and we're guesstimating it to be right around 14,000 pounds. Maybe a little bit more than that with all the weight in it. That's the rough guesstimate, but that's, I'm sure, not factoring in a lot of things that add up way quickly. So I'm just trying to I really want to forget the stock cabin thing, and I just want to go to a streetable extreme cabin, kind of similar to Duncan's, but something that we can bolt a seat in, but just a steel cabin with no big extreme console or anything. You bolt 2 seats in it and then hit the road. But then the issue lies in air circulation. Windows fogging up is definitely a possibility, so not having a defrost would be bad. And then visibility out of, we could see how far a laminated windshield would get us, but if we're fortifying everything else, going to a poly windshield would probably be ideal, or a glass layered windshield like a lot of the extreme guys are starting to get into. But you lose the streetability. Like, wouldn't you want to? I mean, maybe not. Some people would probably rather put them on a trailer, but I like the idea of being able to drive a build to shows, especially a big one. I feel like that's kind of a cool feature to have.
I mean, yes, I could still drive mine to probably any show I want to. Hell, I drove it to Scraping the Coast for almost 3 years. And that's 16.5-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
But honestly, being able to put that thing on a trailer and drive my nice new truck down the road, yeah, no. I'll stick with the new truck, even though I can't have my gas.
That's fair.
It's a fair trade for sure.
Yeah. See, to me, it's still the, I get 10 miles per gallon towing it, or I get 35 miles per gallon driving it. Like, what do I want to do? Cruise control is the biggest thing. Now, this car doesn't have cruise control, and it is a 80s Honda Civic, and so my pedal literally is to the floor 95% of the time when I'm driving this car, because it has no acceleration. And when I'm driving it down the highway, for me to maintain a speed at or around 70, most of the time I'm on the pedal. When I was driving this thing through, because none of our speed limits go over 70 here in Minnesota. When I was driving this thing over in South Dakota and they got 80 mile an hour, I was on the floor the entire time driving this thing in the right lane, feeling like an idiot because I'd be going 80 at the top of a hill, right? And I'd be going down the backside of the hill, and I'd be picking up speed, and then there's the bottom of it. Like, I'm going back up another hill, and I'm looking at my my speedometer, and I'm watching it just do this. I'm like, oh no, go back up. And I'm at 80 at the top of the hill, maybe 85 at the bottom. And then for me to make it up the other side, I get to the top at the other side, and I'm going like 55 or 60. And everyone's like, I swear this guy was just going 80, and now he's going 60. What the hell? He's probably drunk. Like, the car just doesn't do it. I can't make it go that, like, 55 is huge on the dash because 55 was the speed limit, period, when this car was manufactured in the United States. 55 was it. And 80 wasn't a thing. This car doesn't go 80. It's like, to go 70 miles an hour, you're at 33 to 3,400 RPM in the top of fifth gear. That thing is screaming at you like an angry weed whacker. Man, it's just going. And it doesn't let up the whole time. You're deaf by the time you get to the show just because you got to listen to the exhaust on this thing.
Put a turbo on it, yeah. Just like Kobe said. K-swap that bitch.
K-swap is actually coming up. It is coming up. So I want to run the car a couple more years in the lanes, maybe, unless we end up selling it. But I'd like to ideally run the car a couple more years. And in the meantime, I do plan on K-swapping it. And then when the car is retired from being an audio vehicle, aka everything is broken inside of it, I'll just strip the interior and make it a legit race car. And we will do a fairly big K Series building it. So that's it's just on my list of things I would like to do. That's what I quote quit car audio, even though I've been claiming to do it forever now. When I actually finally do it, I'm gonna build that race car. Yeah, Kip was talking about people don't really understand the cost and the environmental factors associated with manufacturing and shipping these environmentally friendly quote wink wink nudge nudge vehicles here. It's bad. I remember when Prius, like the Priuses started coming out, and they were talking like it was like a H2 Hummer was better on the environment over its lifespan, both in fuel consumption and the environmental impact. It was better than a Prius was, and I'm sure that's changed over time. But I remember that was brought up, and I just laughed. I was just like, bro. Like, yeah, I bought this to be good on the environment. It's like you're being good on the environment, but the car is. Yeah. Rex Casey's talking about his car hauler being $3 a mile. My car hauler fully loaded $3 a mile. Woo!
Ouch.
$3 a mile. I'm assuming that's his fee for transport. Now, for Slamology, that's $1,500 one way for me to get there. That's a lot. You got to make a living. You got to pay for your truck and all your stuff. But ooh, I'm gonna just drive it. Yeah, 55 does seem like walking. I can't believe that for a while that we had that speed limit in the U.S.
Right.
Yeah, I think everybody's. Yeah, that's a load. Yeah, Rex. That's what she said. What? So Rex. Speaking of Rex, if you don't know Rex, he does a lot as far as his teammates and his local guys transporting their cars to and from big shows. He owns a car hauler, and I think Rex, are you picking up your new car hauler tomorrow? Because I heard he was getting a new one, and all of a sudden they drove somewhere, and then they flew across the country. I was like, "Whoop! Is he getting a new one?" Yeah, those wind farms, those windmills are horrible on the environment too. You know, since we're talking about that, Dan, those huge like 200-foot guys, they're so bad. Yeah, Rex is getting his new truck so he can haul all of our cars to the Base Wars finals.
Heck yeah. What?
Somebody's like, why don't you drive your car out to Rex's house and then he can trailer it to Midwest finals? And I said, you know what? Let me look that up. And I looked up the distance it would take for me to get out to that neck of the woods. And it was only 45 minutes less than me driving all the way to Midwest finals. So I was like, I want to roll up in style with all the cool kids too, but there is no way that I'm going to drive that distance and not just go the extra 45 minutes doing myself. But I mean, if you want to take some cars out to Las Vegas, Nevada in November and we can get a group of guys together, I'm down. I'm definitely down. We can break that up. That'd be pretty cheap.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, we're going on 2 hours here, so I think we don't want to bore people too much more longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely want to say I appreciate everybody for joining us for our first little live video we're having here. Depending on, what's going on, I think it might kind of be a regular thing. We'll see.
I feel like Thursday's a good day. We're not interfering with Kip and their kicker stuff, and we got the official Base Wars live feed on Monday.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have something to talk about next time too. I know that's it was bothering both of us today. It was like, we got to think of something, and then all of a sudden it was 6:45 and I call you and you're like, yeah, I'm waiting for you, here's the link to log into the stream. And I was like, oh, so nobody knows what we're doing. Okay, that's fine, that's fair.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
but anyway, we definitely appreciate everybody for watching us tonight. Tune in next week. Maybe we'll have some more
things to talk about, I guess I want to say.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go hit up McDonald's for the 13th time this week. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke from earlier, but yeah, thank you anybody that did stick around and watch us. Well, we're definitely gonna work on some content and have some stuff to talk about, audio related, hopefully, but maybe not.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we'll talk about how Jimmy's just tired and he just wants to go to bed because it's past his bedtime. You know.
No. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. Thank you guys, and have a great night.
Bye.
Peace.